One wiener after another wiener. Two wieners after another wiener party, wiener fast song, naughty rag, wiener.
So you'll just
We'll start working our way across.
Yeah, we're just
the
gonna
drawbridge.
gently. I'm kind of off the back behind him, just walking.
okay. So as you all approach,
The hawk. Can we take the hawk?
he's not even with you all. He went back.
I'm not going. Three of us are in the tree.
Anywhere around these.
What are you doing?
Oh no, I'm just in the tree line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the two of them and the four of us.
All right, then we're going up.
So you all step out onto the path and make your way up. You all make your way up to the edge of the drawbridge. As you do, the female steps forward, not threateningly, just step forward to kind of meet you all. She doesn't say anything or tell you to stop. You all want to keep walking out through the drawbridge, onto the drawbridge.
It's kind of you. You're leading this one. Just because I'm your servant. So you gotta tell me. Like, I'll do the talking if you want, but you gotta kind of wait me on.
We're gonna keep moving forward.
Okay. So she meets you about in the middle of the bridge. She says, "Welcome, sir," and gives you a nice bow.
I'll just nod politely. Keep moving. I'm just gonna keep moving past them.
What can we help you with today?
Oh, we're just two road-weary travelers stopping by.
You're more than welcome to come inside, have a place to sleep, place to eat. We actually have a feast tonight if you're interested.
Marvelous. Can we make our way inside then?
Yes. One thing I do ask: would you the leader of the Feathergale Society likes to welcome all new members himself. So if you're up for that, I can take you to him right now.
Certainly.
Okay. So she steps inside. She knocks a few times on the wood on the large gate. It's lifted up into the ceiling or into the frame of the wall. You all step in. You step into. You step inside the rock's mouth. You step inside into a very large hall. The walls are the same bright white limestone that the exterior is made out of. Torches and sconces light the whole way down. It's about a 30-foot long, 20-foot wide hall. There's two sets of large, ornately carved wooden doors in front of you that depict all kinds of various aerial creatures and knights riding on the backs of them, and different depictions of battles between dragons and these knights.
Like some real Targaryen shit going on here. Nice.
And then there's also a second solid steel door to the right with a small slit in it. She walks over to it. She knocks 3 times. The slit opens. She says something about, you can't hear quite all of what she says. She's whispering it, but she says, we have some guests. Someone needs to take my post. So the door, you hear a large metal clang from the other side where it's being unbarred, and one guard steps out and walks out towards where she is. The door's shut behind him and locked again from the inside, and then she steps forward. This way, please, gentlemen. She pushes aside those heavy metal, or the ornate wooden doors. You hear a large thud as the... What?
Nothing.
Okay.
You make out.
You hear a large thud as the interior gate is closed behind you all after the other guard took his post outside. Through those middle doors, you come into a circular room, the center of which is a spiral staircase that goes up and down. There are 3 doors, one in front, and then one on either side. And she starts heading up the stairs. You following her.
So a second. What is your formation? I don't have my game.
Oh, I'm not using my roll here.
Right, so what are we going to do?
Do you want to discuss it now, or do you want me to just introduce it?
You should introduce yourself. I just wasn't sure what the stance was there. Because I don't think, they don't have our names, so I thought maybe you could do our full name.
I wasn't going to.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, sorry, go on, Thomas.
So you all enter, as you step into the room with the spiral staircase, you feel an updraft almost coming out of the stairs itself, kind of hit you in the face.
Tingling in the
And you notice that even in the other room, the air always seems to be moving. It seems to be very, not incredibly windy, just there's always a breeze. You all, yes, they have internal air. So you all make your way up the stairs. The next floor you come to, the staircase is actually open in the center of a large room. There are two large tables on one side, with two large hearths next to each table. In between each of which is a window. This is opposite of the way that you came in. Like the front of the tower is the other side of the building. And you look up and on the other side, there's an extension out of the wall where there are 4 doors, all of which are closed. This is clearly a dining area for most of the group. You make your way up another flight. The next flight is very enclosed just around the staircase itself. There are 4 doors, one in each corner. It's still a circular room, but 4 doors across from each other, all of which are closed as well. Or sorry, no, there's only 3 doors. Yeah, 3 doors. And then you go up one more flight, and you start to see some light coming down as you're moving up. And you're now in a small stone open gazebo, which is what you'd assume was the spire that was on top of the overall structure.
Noise.
And as you step out, you actually step out onto dirt. And you're now on a grassy area that is the roof of this spire.
Nice. It is cool.
As you step out, the wind hits you in the face. It's a pretty strong breeze, not enough to knock you over, but it's very windy up here. There are 2 guards on either side, looking perpendicular from where you all came in. And there's another man who's in very different armor. These 2 guards you saw up top are dressed the same as the people you saw below. However, this guy, his armor, instead of with a gold base, is a bright blue base, like navy blue almost, with
real ornate,
very even more ornate than what they're wearing. White,
ornate.
gold accents. Well, theirs isn't incredibly ornate. It's just
Never intend to actually be used.
Yeah. So fucking
when looking at it, no. This is battle armor. It's just well crafted.
Okay.
They're wearing they have accents.
Oh,
The basic guards just have accents, and the shoulder or the elbow cuffs are kind of designed to look like wings. He is wearing a cape of feathers, and then it has a big wide white cuff of feathers, and then his armor itself is blue based with the gold accents.
Oh, okay.
It's a taller human male, you'd guess mid-50s, bleach white hair, well kept, pretty tall, 6.5 feet tall.
Cuban?
Yes.
Just double checker.
He's not looking at you all. He's actually looking through,
I sense
almost like a spotting scope. Not quite a telescope. It's on a platform and everything, but he's looking actually out into the valley, so away from the way you all came.
I'm picturing these really noble dudes slipping a quarter into one of those ones in the dock.
Focus, damn it!
This one's broken.
I don't understand. It's all black. Took my quarters.
He continues looking for a little bit when finally the woman that you all met, or the woman that led you all up here, approaches him and says, "Thurl, we have visitors." And he takes a few more seconds to look, and he leaves the looking glass there and turns around. Ugh. Welcome. May I ask your names?
Good morning. I'm Leonard Slager. I come from the east. This is my manservant Regis.
Welcome to Feathergale Spire.
I want to do a little bow.
Retreat of the Feathergale Society. I am Thurl Maroska, the Lord Commander, and he gives you a very deep bow. Something you'd expect a servant to give a noble. It's not something you'd expect from a noble.
I'll return the bow, but not quite as deep.
And because I am the
I can't
lowest
be
of
bothered
dirt,
with
I
priesthood,
basically kiss boots. I'm so old that you don't brace my back. Oh!
Take a knee.
Not far enough. He puts his ear on Flan's day.
We don't get visitors up here very often, and well, we appreciate having them. So you all are welcome to all the hospitality that our Spire can offer.
You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
If you don't mind me asking, what brings you up into the Somber Hills?
Intrigue. Quite frankly, we've heard quite a bit about your area. We are aviation enthusiasts, so to speak.
Where from?
Oh, far west.
Like Waterdeep?
Farther.
So not even from Alaesia.
Not quite, no. We've come a long way.
Fair enough.
We are quite road weary.
Well, tonight is the Night's Feast. We are celebrating our anniversary. I don't remember what year it is, so fuck you all.
12 years?
No, it's like 60 something.
12.
What's
You know what that means? Something made of wood.
That's not Ruby. What's 60?
I don't remember.
So I don't know 60th was anything.
I think the older it gets, the more random it is. Like it's really odd.
Eventually just becomes the holy shit.
62nd. This is their 62nd
Oh,
year.
then,
Of the Feathergale Society.
Yes, the Cobalt anniversary.
I believe that's the maple sap anniversary.
We'll have a large feast this evening. If you'd like, you are more than welcome to use our shared quarters down below to rest throughout the day. If you'd like, you're more than welcome to a tour of the Spire. There's not a ton, but we're more than happy to show you around out here. And if you'd like, we can even show you down to where the birds are.
Certainly. We would love a tour.
All right, well, I have duties I must attend to. Sovereign will be your guide throughout the day. I'll check in on you all around lunch, and then dinner will be around 6 o'clock, where we will have the feast in the Great Hall. I hope you all enjoy your stay.
Well,
My
now.
eyes on the gate
Oh,
just
wow.
to see if there's like weird activity.
Nothing's changing. It's just two guards standing there. The drawbridge is still down. The interior gate is closed. You see, occasionally you'll see a person kind of making a pass on the very upper edge. But you don't see them because they're on the other side.
How tall is this thing from where they are?
From the drawbridge up, it's like 60 or so feet.
I just want to get an image of
And then
it.
extends like 20 feet past that.
Gotcha. That's what an image.
You're looking at each floor is about 20 feet. So you're looking at 3 floors above and 1 floor below.
Gotcha. Okay.
Can I start reading it and tell Dogmeat to keep watch?
Yeah.
Alright.
You hear that? They're bored.
And since I don't have anything to read, I'll just go.
He's just gonna talk on the ground.
I'm just gonna twiddle my dragon thumb.
I'd like to start like covering myself in the leaves and branches. Just to try to like practice the web. It's really actually quite.
I would like to make a sprinkler system, then get some swim trunks.
They're going to come back and they're going to be like in the most strange and obscure places.
He's just crying and holding his butt.
I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?
Almost said
Leonard Slager.
So I almost climbed a tree before I started reading.
And my manservant Regis.
I think you forgot going with the obvious. I thought you were going to.
Dog is.
They're good at air.
It's
They're
good.
hawks. They're hawk hunters. So they're
I
hawks.
think you forgot going for the obvious. I thought you were
Okay,
home
sure.
service.
I was thinking also Leroy Klaus.
Jenkins.
This is my manservant Leroy. I just put on the roof. God damn it!
Leroy!
As he finishes his explanation of, Sabra will be your guide throughout the day, you hear a couple loud caws of a very large bird. At which you after which you turn around and you actually see two giant vultures with armored men on the back and a hippogriff take off from the base of the spire.
Can I do a perception check to see if there's anything familiar about their armor?
It's the same armor that the guards out front are wearing.
So it's not the ones that attacked us had. That's where
But they are.
confusion's coming in.
How about the vultures?
I mean, a giant vulture
No,
is a
I'm
giant
sure
vulture,
there's.
so there's not really much you can tell. Like,
Not even like in terms of like saddles or anything like that.
no, like the equipment they're using it's pretty simple saddles. It's not like you've seen a war saddle before, like where legs are actually like fully strapped in. These are like kind of leisurely saddles. Like they're carrying like each of the individuals has like a stripped down version of the armor. It's the same pattern, but it's not the full plate armor. It's like leather armor, and each of them has a spear, but no shield or helmet to keep their vision open. But they take off out of the base of the spire from the opposite side of the door, and
which direction?
they head out over the valley. And you see them swoop low, and they follow the river, and then you kind of leave them on the other side of the valley after a few minutes if you stay there and watch the whole time.
Okay.
Can I roll under stealth check with my big camera?
Sure.
I'm a fucking
Guess
push.
what? Roll it whatever I don't care what it is. Fair enough.
Literally no one is looking at you. Not even your falcon or anyone.
Your dog is just like looking
You're
around.
so convincing the dog pisses on you.
I'm just a bullshit.
In your open mouth.
So
My mouth's like,
No, you're
You're
giggling.
laying
You're giggling.
down. You said you were laying
no, I'm
down.
leaning against a tree.
after watching the riders take off, Thurl just observes for a while, and once they kind of lose sight of him at the other side of the valley, he steps back and starts heading towards the gazebo. And you have a good day, gentlemen. I will see you all later.
Thank you very much.
Bow.
You salute him.
Yeah.
How long have they
He
been?
gives you a slight bow. As
About 5 minutes, except you won't stop.
it's been like 5 or 10 minutes.
They went all the way to the top in 5 minutes.
We're fast.
It's like
60
4
60
flights of
feet.
stairs.
We took the
Oh,
elevator.
fuck. Okay. I thought it was like a lot.
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, like it's 3 flights of stairs. The
I'm looking at
building's
the building. I'm not supposed to.
the
know.
building's only like 4 stories.
Some Spire.
Okay.
Because there's a floor beneath you all, then there's the floor where you all enter, and there's 2 floors on top of that. Then there's the roof.
Spire's fucking pathetic.
It's still
like 30
it's
seconds to ride home.
80 to 100 feet tall spire, like the whole length of the thing.
Yeah, but okay. It's like 6 plus stories.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was thinking like.
Anyway, that's still a huge building.
We thought it was
Oh,
going to be cool.
This is like this building itself is probably only like 35 or 40 feet tall. So you're looking at like double this at least.
Yeah.
So you all stand there watching that. Salver just stands behind you all. After a few minutes, she steps forward. And, what would you all like to see, or would you prefer to rest?
My manservant here is weary, so I think we should retire to change the channel.
Fair enough. I'll show you to the chambers where you all are free to spend your time. I'll wait outside, and if you all decide you want to change your mind at some point, you're free to do so and let me know, and I'll take you on a tour. So she starts to head back into the spire. You go down 2 floors to where the Great Hall was, and in those 4 rooms opposite, she leads you over to the leftmost one and opens the door. And inside, there's a small fireplace and 2 beds on either side of the room. Each of them has an empty chest in front of it. You are free to stay in here. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be right out here.
Excellent, thank you.
she goes over and joins. There's a few people. It's the same pattern again. That gold with the blue and white. Are sitting at the tables of the Great Hall now. It was empty before, but now they're sitting there eating what you'd assume is breakfast. Some of them have robes. A few of them have that leather armor that you saw, and then 2 of them have the full plate armor on as well.
So we'll sort of close that idea. So I have 2 ideas here. Tell me which one you think is better. Either you go and say, I'll take the tour, but because of traveling and whatnot, my manservant is going to stay here and like fix up my clothing or clean shoes or whatever. And then while you're gone, I sneak out and see if I can go. Because all I really need to do is leave without anyone noticing. I'll go find the servants' quarters, play a little bit of deceptive stuff, and see what I can figure out. Because I got a good excuse, I don't want my master to be involved in something he doesn't know about. We're wondering if these rumors about these flying attackers have anything to do with, like, how you've been dealing with that, have something like that. The other option would be that I go out for a reason, like my master needs this or that. Can I go to the kitchen?
Yeah,
I go down and then
the first one.
Okay, fair enough. And then you just get as much information as humanly possible about who they are, how many people there are, shit like that. And I'll go for the servants and shit and see if I can get some scuttlebutt. And it'll take 5 minutes of our time. And fair enough.
Yeah, so we'll rest for maybe 45 minutes or so.
I was thinking, yeah, I wasn't sure if he was waiting or not. But
Yeah.
We'll rest a little bit.
And then I'll open the door, exit the room.
Which direction is our window facing?
So like you're facing like 45 degrees off of the door. Like if you're looking out the drawbridge you came in, you're facing.
Okay.
Cut it down. Like if here's the drawbridge, you're looking up like this way.
If I were to lean my head out, could I see the trees?
That's actually very interesting. As you go over to the window, there is nothing to close there, and it's actually solid stone. However, you can see out. This is enchanted to act like a window, but it is not actually a window.
Good thing we didn't fucking climb into that shit.
I know, right?
From the outside, there were no windows at this point.
That's because they're all enchantments. I forgot about that. That's awesome. That's a good idea.
So little, if I did do that, I'd be flying past somebody's window. It's like, what the fuck is that?
But I can see enough to get my bearings and know where I am in terms.
Yeah, you look down. You can see the outer edge of the drawbridge. Like you can't stick your head out, obviously, but you look down and you can see the most of the drawbridge section, and you can see where the path comes out and leads off. And you can see about where you'd expect the rest of the group to be.
Out in the woods. Okay. So at least we got our bearings there. So yeah, let's rest. You get the tour. I'm gonna go find everything else, the kitchen and whatnot, and see what we can figure out.
Alright, so you said you're waiting like half an hour.
45 minutes or so.
Are you all gonna do anything or just wait it out at this
No, I'm
point?
still just reading.
I'm going to go and catch tree branches tomorrow.
So how long have they been in there?
Just
We've been there for about an hour.
Maybe
or so.
about an hour at this point.
I go find out.
If only there was some way to signal you.
my tree.
Logan, you want to do? You're good with waiting with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna keep reading them.
All right, so you step out.
Okay.
Salva steps forward. Is Regis not joining us?
No, he has a few matters to attend to. I have a few letters that I would like for him to write. He has my own things to manage, so.
Fair enough. Well, what would you like to see? We have the aviary in the basement, the solarium. You're more than welcome to take a look at some of the quarters we provide, or we can take you back up to the pinnacle. You can look back out over the valley if you'd like.
Let's start on the aviary and work our way up.
Fair enough. So she leads you down past the first floor where you came in with the very ornate doors.
Mm-hmm.
You go down another level. You exit out into what is basically a half-circle room. The wall extends out past, like towards the drawbridge side of the the tower, it extends out past the staircase, but it ends in a flat wall. And then the rest of it is the rest of the spire circle. About half of each wall around the curve, there are 4 doors on each one, 4 double doors that are about half tall. And over these, you can see each of these are small stables. Some of them contain hippogriffs or griffins, and then there's 1 giant vulture over here, and then there are 3 empty slots to your left as well. Each of the stables has a basic saddle and some different equipment in it for riding, and then in between the sets of stables, there is actually a large opening in the rock, which is where you'd assume that this goes out over the valley. This is where those 3 flew out of earlier. The wall behind you, the flat wall behind you, it's a mural very similar to what you saw on the door, only on a much larger scale. There are mounted knights fighting other mounted knights. There's multiple mounted knights fighting a dragon mid-flight. There's all kinds of different aerial-based animals, and it's very ornately carved into the rock itself, using marble to accent the shades and the edges. There's also there's a phrase written above and below in a language that you don't recognize.
Have we seen anyone flying out?
I saw people flying out.
No, because they flew out the other side of the tower and went down into the valley.
Okay.
They would have flown below your field of vision.
Okay. See, there's a lot of history associated with this building. How did the society start 62 years ago?
Well, a group of noblemen from Waterdeep, they started the society, and since then it has become a society of those from anywhere that share the same hobbies as we do. A group of hobbyists from Waterdeep were looking for a place where they could fly without dealing with the hindrance that comes with flying over Waterdeep. The stigma that somebody's attacking the town or something like that. They needed to remove themselves from society, and they wanted to find a free and open place where they could enjoy their time with their animals and in the air and flying. And we found the Sighing Valley here in the Somber Hills, and it was just a match made in heaven. They found the spire that was built by the dwarves long ago, and they've made some modifications to it since then, but it's become the home of Feathergale Society.
Are all of these animals privately owned, or are they the property of the society as a whole?
The vultures themselves stick around there for use. They're used by anyone in the society themselves. The hippogriffs and the griffins, however, are mostly owned by a single person or a group of 2 or 3 members who they bring them here from wherever they keep them, or sometimes they keep them here specifically, and they fly them or whatever, just take care of them down here.
But the vultures are for use by any member?
Yes.
How often do you lose animals for any way, shape, or form? Escape, disease? Have any ever gone missing?
Occasionally, missing is probably not the right word. We've had 1 or 2, unfortunately, fall to. There are manticores out in the valley. We've been dealing with some manticores recently who have killed 1 or 2 of our birds. We take very good care of the birds themselves. Usually disease or something of that can be dealt with through the experience of every member of the society. Age will take them eventually. They don't live for forever, obviously. And some members come and go, and they take their animals with them.
But the vultures are for the use of anyone.
Yeah, the vultures are kept by members, by the initiates of the Feathergale Society.
I'm sure
That's who upkeeps them and makes sure that they're in proper health and keeps them flying every couple of days at least to stretch their wings. And make sure that they get their exercise and don't become bored down in the
Maybe look
stables.
at.
No, look over with a smirk and say, do you ever let your visitors ride the vultures?
Occasionally, but only if they have some form of experience. We don't like to throw outsiders on birds with no experience whatsoever. That could be a very deadly combination of inexperience and just the brute power of these animals. Do you yourself have any experience with the larger mounts?
No, not yet.
Well, if you enjoy your time here, maybe you can speak with Thurl about becoming a member, and we can get you out on one.
At that point, I think I'm going to kind of gesture back toward the staircase.
Okay.
Let's go explore elsewhere.
All right, I'll take you up to the solarium. So you will go back up to the first floor where you came in originally, and you go through the door directly opposite the two solid wood doors. As you enter the room, it is incredibly bright. The wall itself, on the far side of the room, there actually is no wall. It is completely open.
Is it actually open?
After you look at it closely enough, you realize this is the same illusion that made the windows in your room.
That's awesome.
There is a wall there, however, it is completely transparent at the moment to allow sun in, because you have just stepped into what is basically a greenhouse. Inside, there are 4 robed individuals in the gold and blue, tending to the different plants and stuff. You, after looking around a little bit, you actually notice most of these aren't local. Like, you recognize things that come directly out of the middle of the elven forest. You recognize a few things that come from the far north, and even stuff that doesn't grow on this continent. They seem to be growing different things. Most of what you recognize has some kind of...
I did just finish an herbalism book. Is there anything that would stand out to me as being unique or out of place?
A lot of it you would find unique just due to some of the rarity or the current location, just the fact that it doesn't grow here. Normally it isn't grown here or wouldn't grow here at all. Clearly there's something magical going on with some of this, because some of this stuff isn't supposed to grow in a climate like this. You even recognize a few plants that grow in the Underdark. Like, they would not normally be receptive to light at all.
Mm-hmm.
However, they seem to be blooming just fine. Nothing stands out as devious. Like, there's no like poison or anything like that. A lot of what you do recognize has some form of like alchemy base to it, or like potion base, or healing base. Like, a lot of it, none of it's just for show, as far as you can tell. The stuff you remember has some use to it.
Right. It was quite the collection that you've established over the years. How did you come across some of these rare breeds of flora?
Our members come from far and wide and bring whatever they can, and we like to keep a collection of unique things on hand in case some of these are specifically for medicine for the birds or for us. Some of this stuff is a delicacy when added to meals, and the nobles enjoy their uniqueness when it comes to things like this. We allow them to bring them, and then our initiates take care of the solarium and ensure that they grow properly and well.
At that point, I'm going to walk over to the transparent wall and kind of run my hand along it. I see you have some very intricate magics at play here. Is there somebody, a sorcerer, an enchanter, who takes up residency here that's made all this recently, or was this?
This is not the work of one person. This is, over time, the Feathergale Society wasn't happy with the amount of how all of the rooms felt just so closed off. So they looked into what their options were, and instead of altering the structure physically, they decided that through magic, which A few of our members are very skilled, and others are still learning. But through the group itself, we have come to perfect, or almost perfect, this enchantment that allows our walls to become transparent and let light in without damaging the structure itself.
At this point, let's do a perspective swap. Switch over to Bill. Because I figure after I leave, it's a good opportunity for me to see.
branches for my arms and go around and start picking up dry sticks.
He's gonna let stuff apply. Okay, so I'm going to grab. I'm gonna write a note addressing to a person Waterdeep. We'll discuss what the note says later. It's just that my friend from Waterdeep, because I need a reason. And I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna use one of his little fancy oil stamp things that I'm sure was in his gear. And I'm also gonna bring like I don't know, like a fine shirt or something. And I'm gonna walk out and look back and forth. Is there anyone in the hallway?
As you open the door, there's actually another guard in the same kind of outfit that Sabra was wearing. May I help you, sir?
Oh, good, you're here. I have a few things to do for my master, and I was hoping you could lead me to those places.
Well, what can I help you with?
First is I want to call it the aviary, but honestly, the whole place is an aviary, where you send notes. Or however they send mail. The coop.
That would be the aviary.
Aviary. Okay, that's first stop. Then the kitchen. Well, you see, my master is obviously coming from a faraway land. Not that I need to explain this to you, but he has very particular tastes, and the fact that he showed interest in this, and because of my concern for him, I would like to see your facilities to know that it can, accommodate, thank you, the types of desires you wish it to.
Who did you thank? Who were you thanking?
I didn't thank anybody.
You didn't. You said thank you. I'm just talking around.
No. Oh, he said thank you. I was like,
No, you said thank you to John.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. I forget that over here. So yeah.
Thank you, vocabulary man.
Much better than the contract Nazi.
The wind just whispered it to you.
But and then I said, and the third is I'm assuming you have a quartermaster here. Master sounds weird. I'm assuming master's the my employer. That's better. My employer is very particular about his clothing, being that he's had much style over the years, seeing the different areas, and the buttons missing from his shirt. I would like to have them special made. I was hoping I could speak to him briefly about the supply.
Okay, so I can take you to the aviary where we can send a message for sure.
Okay.
The kitchen, I would suggest to simply. What the fuck are we listening?
Or we could somebody left the influence. Or we could speak to somebody from the kitchen.
I would be careful
vibe.
insulting the cooks. These men have come from far and wide. They cook for nobility regularly.
You see, Buster said, I'm not trying to insult them. I'm trying to get a feel of who would be appropriate for him to patronage? Pretending to be fancy is not this. Right. What? Golly fuck. Which one of them, because I'm sure they come from all over the world, would make the types of food in which he prefers? And I would just like to have an idea of the range of things that happens. Get an idea of where we are staying.
What I can assure you of, the night's feast tonight that you all have been invited to, there is a large selection of menus. We have multiple elven nobles that stay with the society regularly, and they have selected their own menu of food from their own homeland. We have dwarven delicacies as well as human delicacies and delicacies from other areas, all of which are being prepared. This feast is the biggest feast of the year for the society, and the cooks would not appreciate being interrupted on the busiest day of the year. If you can avoid it.
Understood. It was merely curiosity to speak with someone in the kitchen to film things. Dropping spoilers, asshat.
a spoiler.
It's okay. We can. Would the quartermaster be an option as well?
Most people bring somebody to deal with their own clothing usually. We can check in at the guard post down below. They may have something that could.
That would do perfectly.
All right, so you follow me then. So he makes his way down the steps, down past the entrance that you all came in, and down farther where you've not been before.
Hey, real quick, does anybody need a drink?
Thanks.
Walk out into the aviary. You see the large mural on the wall behind you. Over past where the big stables are, there's actually a few small cages that he never walked over and saw that have some small carrier pigeons, and there's a few ravens there. And he walks over, opens one of the cages, and coaxes this pigeon out. It has a small compartment attached to one of its legs. You'll have to take the seal off. It won't fit with the seal if that's okay.
I suppose the letter will be sufficient. So.
So you pop the wax off and roll the note up. He sticks it in there, and he throws the pigeon out, and it takes flight and then turns southwest and heads off towards Waterdeep.
Yeah, there's this something. Oh, do we see anything? How?
You all see one lonely pigeon kind of fly off the side of the tower.
Go ahead.
Nice. Go for it.
Damn it.
I'm reading. Oh.
Fuck it.
Can I throw a javelin at you?
I can't do that.
I'm
Would you like to look around a little, or would you like us to go straight to the quartermaster?
Actually, this is pretty interesting. I want to look around. Is it just the falcons? You know, falcons.
And
You're talking about the big birds?
The bigger
or small
stuff. The bigger
birds?
stuff. What are they called?
There's two giant vultures,
Vultures.
and then there's two hippogriffs and a griffin.
I would like to walk up to one of the hippogriffs and turn to him and say, you know, we've seen a lot of things in our travels. This one never fails to astonish me.
As you approach, before you can even say anything, the hippogriff kind of steps forward and riles up in his cage, and he says, "Slowly, please, slowly. These are very noble animals.
Hey, doesn't like gold.
Keep your eyes down, approach it, and bow." Exactly.
I was hoping that's what was going to happen. And I'm going to do exactly that. You know, very nobly bow.
So you bow, you kind of keep your eyes up a little bit, and you see it drop its leg back and bow a little bit too. And it kind of steps forward and sticks its head out of the stable and allows you to approach.
And I would like to gently, you know, caress the side of it, sort of. And I would like to turn to the guard and ask, you know, how do you come about, not beasts, creatures of such magnitude?
The hippogriffs and the griffins are actually brought in by the individual members. They're more northern beasts and aren't usually found on this continent too much.
That's why I was surprised to see them.
Especially this far south. But the members come about them in different ways through trade, or they travel themselves and find them and bring them back, and they keep them here or at their home places and move them back and forth when they decide to come to the Spire.
And I'll say, I'm sure my master would be pleased to hear that he is not the only traveled member. And then I'm going to give the little hippogriff a little bow, and I'm going to start walking off. And I'm going to go, can we please see what was it, guard barracks, quartermaster, wherever they would store all the equipment.
Thank you.